Welcome back to EMT Mood. Today I'm here with.
I'm paying AJ.
Today we're reacting to 3 disturbing true horror stories animated. Hope you guys are doing good. Let's get straight to the video.
Videos for a while, and I finally have a story to share with you. This one isn't mine, but it happened to a classmate of mine back when I was in year 9. I'll do my best to retell it the way it was told to me. For privacy reasons, let's call him Andrew. It all started at the end of a normal school day. Most of the students at our school would take public transport home. Buses, trams, trains, you name it. Andrew was Asian, tall, pretty built, and very popular. After school, he'd usually hang out with friends or go on dates. But on this day, he decided to head home with his younger brother, who was in year 7. We'll call his brother Ben. When they got on the bus, Andrew sat near the back, and Ben went all the way to the last row to sit with his friends. Everything seemed normal until the bus made another stop. That's when he got on. A large boy, maybe 16 or 17, towering over everyone, stepped onto the bus. He had a long scar running down the side of his face, and he wasn't wearing a school uniform, which meant he didn't go to our school. As he stepped on, he was muttering to himself, pacing the aisle slowly like he couldn't decide where to sit. Andrew didn't think much of it. He just kept looking down at his phone. The boy walked down the aisle of the bus and sat next to Andrew, and without warning, swung a fist right at Andrew's head. The punch connected. Andrew was caught.
Assault. That's why I say you gotta be careful in public transit or transportation because people is crazy. People are crazy.
Yeah, no, that's straight violation though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not hugging that though. I'm not taking that, man. Like, that's straight targeting, bro. I couldn't.
That was
I
mine.
could not. At that point, that's when you can take a man's life and it's gonna be fine.
No.
I swear. Nah.
Don't listen to him. Self-defense laws in Canada don't work like that. Thank you very much.
Well, wherever you are, I hope it works in your favor, because in this situation, that probably might go to stuff.
Yeah, no, you'd have to restrain him or, I don't know, chop off a hand.
He doesn't have a knife or machete, bro. He can't do that shit.
I don't care.
And you're in a bus. What are you
Zip
doing?
tie.
You're in a bus. A man punches you in your head or a girl punches you in your head. What are you doing?
Blind. Poke them in their eyes.
Okay, yeah, stab him in the eye or some shit. Jerk him in the eye.
They're blind. Like, what the hell? I'm not going to hit you back. We're going to end up going back and forth. If I blind you now, you're going to be in a little sporadic. You're going to be
In a
confused.
daze.
Yeah, you can't see me. I can get up and walk away. You're going to be tweaking on the bus. Thank you, respectfully.
Like, bus driver. Bus driver. He's not gonna come
No,
out.
but they're driving the bus.
Yeah, no. I mean, he can park the bus, call the police, some shit. You know what I mean? Your bro's in that back seat. What is he doing?
And he's younger and he's small.
Let's see. No, it doesn't matter. Let's see if his brother rides for him. Let's see what goes on. But
Guard, but snapped out of it, furious and ready to fight back. But before he could do anything, the boy just turned around and stormed toward the back of the bus, where Ben and his friends were sitting.
wow.
I should probably mention, Ben was short, quiet, and definitely not someone who could defend himself in a fight. The boy tried to hit Ben, but just before he could land a punch, an elderly woman sitting near the front of the bus shouted at him, demanding he stop. He turned, furious, and punched the woman in the face. At this point, the bus was in total chaos. Andrew was frozen, trying to make sense of what was happening. This guy had to be mentally unstable. That was the only explanation. But it wasn't over. The boy made his way toward the bus driver, fists clenched, and tried to hit him while he was driving. That nearly caused a full-on crash.
Listen, bro. That bus driver's a dumbass. What do you mean all this shit is going on in the bus and he's not stopping the bus?
I would have
bro?
stopped a long time ago.
What do you mean the bus is not stopped, bro?
So I'm saying, bus drivers don't care, bro. They don't do their job. They don't care.
Nah, punching that elderly lady is kind of vile, bro. That's actually mental or not, man. Like
The bus would have been pulled over. Like, I really saw him running at the old lady. The bus would have been pulled out, trying to hit the brakes or something.
something.
Then you want to come for me? Park that bus. Press the button you guys have in that bus.
And this is
You
why.
guys have those weird call buttons in the bus.
And
Press that.
this is why, like, bus drivers, they don't really like confronting, like, you know, madman them when they come on the bus because they know how this shit's gonna go down, bro. Like,
Even though the person's gonna get fined or jail time,
mm-hmm.
who the fuck they don't want to get hit.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with it. So that's why man them just walk on the bus because like they're scared, bro. They don't want to deal with that shit.
See, I'm gonna start acting like a crack.
Yeah, like just go in there, go like. Just go in that shit. They let you on. They let you on, but just don't fuck around.
free, like,
Thankfully, at the next stop, 2 security guards, who had been contacted by the driver during all the commotion, were already
so
waiting.
how fast was
So,
that?
They stepped onto the bus and blocked the aisle, trying to calm the boy down.
And the bus was
It
still
turned
there.
out to be a big mistake.
now it is.
The moment he saw them, the boy snapped again, swinging wildly at both guards. A full-on brawl broke out right there in the aisle.
Full of
The
brawl.
guards managed to wrestle him to the floor and held him down while the rest of the passengers, including Andrew, Ben, and the driver, evacuated the bus. A few minutes later, the police arrived. You'd think he'd calm down at this point, seeing armed officers,
Nope.
but no, he didn't care.
You want to get shot?
As soon as one of the guards loosened their grip, the boy lunged at one of the cops, and that's when it ended. Another officer immediately pulled out a taser and fired. The boy collapsed, convulsing on the pavement before being restrained and cuffed. He was arrested on the spot. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt. Not Andrew, not Ben, and not even the elderly woman. But to this day, we all wonder what would have happened if the guards or the police hadn't shown up in time. Or worse, if that bus, full of people, had crashed.
You never know, so. That one was mad
This is
stupid.
not
Hello,
war.
my name is Mai Britt.
But that was
I'm
crazy.
a woman from Norway, and this is a true story that happened to me a long time ago. I was 18 at the time, and I had just moved in with my partner, Alex. We loved going out exploring, to the mall, cafes, anywhere at all during the day. But one day, we decided to come home a little earlier than usual, and looking back, I'm really glad we did. When we got home, I locked the door, or at least I thought I did. You see, I'm hard of hearing, and sometimes I forget to check if I've actually locked the door, especially since I'm always the one who walks in last. That day, we didn't think much of it. We just sat down to watch TV like usual, until we heard loud screaming. It was coming from our neighbors. She lived in the apartment right next to us, and we were used to hearing her yelling at odd hours, especially in the middle of the night. Doors slamming, things breaking. But this time, it was during the day. Alex heard footsteps in the hallway, and then suddenly, he turned the TV off. We both went quiet, and that's when we heard it. Someone was at our front door, stabbing it over and over again.
This is why I don't want to live in apartment buildings, bro. Apartment complexes. I can't do it, man. I could do it, but if my neighbors are like, if there's so much bullshit going on like this, I'm moving, bro. Like I can't do it, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Either a different floor or a whole different building. Like
a whole different building, man. If shit like this is going down, like especially if I
every day at nighttime, but this time it's different because it's in the morning.
But
No,
no.
this shouldn't be. I shouldn't be witnessing this every blood clot day. Like
shit like this, you just gotta pack it up and cut, man. This is stupid shit.
Alex looked at me and whispered,
Oh no, I might have forgotten to lock it.
My heart dropped. I crept slowly to the door and checked. It was locked, thank God. Then came the screaming.
Let me in! Open the door!
She was screaming, swearing, stabbing the door again and again. We could hear the metal scraping as she carved X's into the wood. She even went to another neighbor's door. She sounded furious through the locked door, and she was determined to get inside. She started kicking the door, slamming her body against it, and shouting.
Open the door!
I told Alex frantically.
Call the police
it reminds
now.
me of
He
something
did,
that's happened
and he
to
told the
me.
operator.
Our neighbor is trying to break in. She's stabbing the door. Please send help.
The operator asked if we could see anything. Do you have a peephole or window to look through? We said no, but we told her.
It has to be a knife or some sharp weapon. She's hitting the door hard.
I started crying while Alex stayed on the line. We waited and waited. And then we heard the police sirens in the distance, getting closer and closer. They caught her right outside our door, still holding the knife. She didn't even run. They took her into custody immediately. Later, we found out she was evicted and placed into rehabilitation, and we never saw her again.
This should have been from a long time. If you guys reported her from a long time ago.
Actual scene photos.
Oh crap!
Okay.
She actually did.
They came
My
with some
name is
evidence for that
Sparsh.
one.
This incident
I like
happened
that.
when I was 15 years
Why
old.
that touch?
My parents were out of town on vacation celebrating their anniversary. They wanted me to come with them, but I had exams the following week,
Norwegians know how
so
to
I
make
stayed
that
back
proof.
home alone. My mom, being the protective person she is, asked her friend from society to send her son, Sahil, to stay with me. Sahil was 18 years old. I also have an older brother who was 23 at the time, but he was working in a different state. He was planning to come home in a few days. The first 3 days went by smoothly. Sahil and I had a lot of fun, nothing out of the ordinary. Then came the night before my brother's return. He told me he'd be arriving early in the morning, around 4 a.m. So I thought, why not just stay up all night and study? Since I didn't want any distractions, I told Sahil not to stay over that night. After dinner, I got comfortable and started studying. It was 10 p.m. Everything was fine.
Why was you
I
doing that
kept
the
my
same
head
way?
in the books for another few hours until around 2:20 or 2:25 a.m. I suddenly heard a loud crash coming from the second floor. It sounded like something very heavy had fallen. At first, I tried to brush it off as my imagination, but then I heard footsteps. My heart dropped.
In his own house?
I froze for a moment, trying to process what I'd just heard. Now, the second floor of my house isn't connected to the first floor. There's no interior staircase. That meant whoever or whatever was up there didn't come from inside. It must have entered through the terrace or balcony. Panicked, I turned the TV on full volume and started talking loudly to myself, trying to make it seem like I wasn't alone.
You're dumb.
I
You would've
kept
never
that
been
act
alone.
going for a whole hour.
Yeah.
Like, just because your bro's coming at 4 a.m. in the morning, that doesn't mean to send the next guy out from how early. You're telling me at 10 p.m. you started studying, which means he was gone from before that?
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to be in the house the whole time? That was the point of him coming over, to make sure you are not alone in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You could have just stayed until 4 a.m. when your brother got here, and if he felt safe enough to leave, or stay and leave early in the morning at like 7 or 8. Makes sense. What country is this?
I think it's Norway. Is it Norway?
No, that was the other one. I don't know about it.
Well, shit, wherever it is, I like the houses though. The fact that it's not connected from inside but outside, you can just go outside and
It's
just
like,
go upstairs and shit.
The place in Niagara, kind of.
That's cool. That's cool. But he's kind of dumb though.
He's dumb.
Then I grabbed a bag, double-locked the main door, and pushed a sofa in front of it. I sat there, bat in hand, terrified. I don't even remember falling asleep. Next thing I knew, the doorbell rang. I jolted awake. It was morning, and that had to be my brother. Still nervous, I opened the door just a crack to check, and thankfully, it was him. I told him everything, and together, we went upstairs to check, and what we saw shook me to my core. The entire second floor was a mess.
Ransom.
Clothes and belongings were scattered everywhere. But the worst part, there was a knife on the floor. A knife that didn't belong to us. It looked like the intruder had tripped over something, dropped the knife, and made a run for it. We called the police. They found no other evidence, but they did take the knife for fingerprint analysis. 1 month later, there was a robbery and a murder in our society.
Yep.
The police believe it was the same person,
Mhm.
and he was still out there. Since then,
We should have
everyone,
robbed and
including
killed.
us, installed CCTV cameras in our homes. Our society now has 2 security guards on duty full time. But even with all that, I still get chills thinking about that night. Because if I had gone to sleep early like I usually do, I don't know if I'd be here to tell this story.
Well, if you went to sleep early with your friends still there, that probably also would never happen, but go off.
Yeah, bro.
Kind of dumb.
That was the video. It's definitely shorter today. At this point, I feel like they're just gonna have to call this like a horror comedy because
Because this is
this
hilarious.
shit is funny as shit. That's why I
This
think,
wasn't scary like the other
Yeah,
other ones are
it's
kind of
not-
like nerve wracking,
Yeah,
like
it's not
a little
like-
more spooky. This is just some of these are just dumb and creepy.
Yeah, it's straight stupid. But
Like I was like, where's the horror? Where's the
yeah,
horror?
it's like in the horror effects, you know, it's mainly comedy.
I guess it's horrific that when people die.
But they haven't really died in any of these videos.
No,
I gotta
these
find
people-
some of those. Like when there's actually like real trauma that's behind it, you know. Real,
Like the other ones we watched, remember?
some of them. But that was the video, guys. Let us know what you guys think about it. Comment like, subscribe.
And Pay and AJ.
Signing out.